It's no secret that the world we live in today is full with manipulative behavior. In fact, the majority of kingdoms gained control by deceiving their rivals, and for some, deceitful behavior led to their downfall. There is a saying that says, if you want to get a man to do something, make sure that his wife is on your side, because even if the man doesn't directly agree with you, his wife will persuade him into doing the work. Whatever you may think about manipulation, it is true that whoever is a victim of it will never benefit, especially in today's society where women more than often try to manipulate men into doing things that benefit them. Now, one of the first steps in becoming a man is to understand when you are being manipulated into doing something that you don't want to. Remember, even if you have the most expensive home or car, female manipulation will still cause serious harm to you if you let it happen. One example is a man who texts a woman to meet up. She declines his offer by telling him that she's busy, even though she isn't. She just wants to play hard to get, so men peruse her harder. While women were once thought of as the weaker gender, this is changing rapidly in our modern society. Women know how to manipulate men into doing things exactly how they want them to. They've realized that men can't be fought fist to fist. The only way to a man's heart is through emotional control. With that said, let's check out the 8 biggest tactics that women employ to manipulate men. Number 1. Overpraising. Some of you may have noticed when, all of a sudden, a girl starts to constantly compliment you on almost everything you do, you may have thought, "Oh, I'm the greatest man on the planet." Praising is not bad. In fact, it's one of the most important ways for showing appreciation. It's true that people love to get the approval of others, but a close observer would feel odd with continuous praising. Any sensible guy should watch out for such a situation, because that girl will undoubtedly make a demand that you might not be able to refuse without feeling awful. She is essentially utilizing your emotional side, and she is aware of how well it works. Number 2. Crying. This is a difficult one because we all hate ourselves when our loved ones cry because of our actions, especially if they are an attractive woman. In these circumstances, your heart will melt because she appears to be so helpless. But little do you know that a manipulative woman is more than willing to use this technique against you if you give her the chance. Now, some of you might think that men aren't emotional, but you are greatly mistaken. Men also have feelings, but they have been socially conditioned to suppress their emotional side. So there's a high possibility that you might give in to her demands when she pulls this act, but you absolutely should not. There is only one way to solve this issue: give in. You may not be aware of it, but women might sob on the surface, but are smiling on the inside, so you can't possibly tell. Now, don't take this out of context because it doesn't imply that you should regard your girl as some sort of manipulative devil every time she starts to cry. Instead, understand the situation you are in by the facts rather than by emotions as women tend to do, and determine whether or not she is attempting to escape the argument by playing the victim. Number 3. Nicknames. Some of you may find this surprising, but making up nicknames create affection and familiarity. Funny or endearing nicknames like honey or dear are frequently used in relationships. However, they can also be used by a cunning woman to manipulate you into doing something that she wants. Women often master their tone when they call these names to a man, and when they do, the unfortunate man stands alert like a servant waiting to answer his master's call. Why? Because calling you by your nickname in an endearing tone appeals to your self-respect, and you're more attracted to her. Number 4. Touching unnecessarily. The funny thing is that women have a natural advantage to touch a man without consent, even in public. But suppose you touch a woman in public with good intentions. If she's not comfortable with it, guess where you're going? That's right, straight to prison, and they might throw away the keys too while they're at it. Manipulative women will use everything in their power to get what they want, even if they have to throw in a few unnecessary touches that last uncomfortably too long. Think of Samson, the most powerful man on earth. According to the Bible, 1,000 men together could not lead one man to ruin. However, do you know what did? A woman's gentle touch. Therefore, Be vigilant and resist the temptation to compromise your moral principles for momentary pleasures. Number 5. Comparing. When a woman wants something done her way, she might compare you to other men instead of telling you what she wants right away. She does this to show you that she's being left out while all her other friends already have what she wants. And it actually works because men don't like to be compared to others. However, you will feel inferior to other men when all of your flaws are laid bare for you because it firstly undermines your role as a leader. Secondly, people will start to talk behind your back, saying how you failed to provide for your girl. Number 6. Nagging. Almost all men experience mindless complaining and nagging from their girl at some point of their relationship. Now, the only safe way to persuade her to stop whining is by ultimately caving into her demands, which is oftentimes a big burden for a man who works 35 to 40 hours a week. A woman may make a man's life miserable by nagging him, whether it's by persistent phoning or texting or by having mood swings. This is also a vital lesson for the girls listening right now. Don't fall into society's trap of believing that you need to challenge a guy. Men are too tired of hearing the same complaints, demands, and old stories, and in the end, he'll just give up on you because he already has too many responsibilities to take care of. And if anything, you should help ease the burden on his shoulders. Number 7. Seduction. The greatest tool at a woman's disposal is her luscious body. But on a subconscious level, we all know it's true a woman can make a man lose self-control just by exposing some skin or by kissing him. She may give you a seductive look or send messages that would tempt you to want her even more. Women always succeed in this because they are women, and seduction is an art that comes to them naturally. They are well aware that men are cursed by nature with an insatiable yearning for intimacy. But as long as a man holds a greater purpose, he can avoid giving in to her cleverly devised seductions. Number 8. Avoiding. Some women go beyond their comfort zones in an effort to attract the most attention of men. You may have noticed that your wife or a girlfriend is avoiding you. All she wants is your attention. Typically, women request some space when they need the most attention. In these situations, you may notice an unexplainable distance between you two and blame yourself for failing to resolve the situation. She will understand what you're going through, and that is exactly how she wants you to feel. She knows that her value will always be greater when you're about to lose her compared to now, so she'll do everything in her power to keep you in that vulnerable state.